Guys, welcome back. Today we are testing out the brand new ANASTASIA Beverly Hills foundation. This is the Luminous foundation and I'm going to be doing a wear test. I'm probably going to make it about 10 hours today, maybe 12. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be giving you my first impressions, trying it on camera and all that good stuff. If you guys are new here, I do have very oily skin, but I'm also dry right out here, so it's kind of like combination skin. That was scary. I have rosacea, I have very acne prone skin, sensitive skin, and I think that's it. So before I get to testing out the foundation, I do just want to do a little rundown of it. I have the shade 210N and they came out with 50 shades, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, 50 shades. This is a medium coverage foundation with a luminous natural finish. Vegan, cruelty-free, and alcohol-free, which is awesome. It does say it's for all skin types as well, so you can be oily, dry, combination, and it also says it's for sensitive skin. And it also says it's water resistant, so I'm assuming that applies to sweat as well. It's long wearing, it has a weightless feel, and it also is free of flashback and oxidization. So I think that's all we need to know about the foundation, and if you guys want to see how this works out on my very oily skin, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to start by priming half of my face. I'm using the Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. The reason why I'm only doing half my face is just because sometimes foundations react kind of funny to primers, so if the foundation does like break up and separate or something, I want to know if it's the primer or the foundation. While I let that sink into the skin, I'm going to start on this side of my face. I'm just going to put like a pump on the back of my hand, maybe 2 pumps. And by the way, I do have the shade 210N in this. Again, this shade might be a little bit dark on me right now just because I am like the absolute fairest that I ever get. Just going to dot this around. I'm using my Morphe sponge to blend this out. I'm definitely gonna have to go in. I'm gonna zoom you in. I can already tell I'm gonna have to go in with another layer. It's evening out my skin tone, but it's not really covering up any of my little blemishes or redness. So it's definitely medium coverage. Just pick up a little bit more. So it's building up really nicely. It definitely has a dewy finish. You can kind of see all that shine. Hopefully it tones down a little bit though, because especially when I have a lot of texture on my face like I do today, I don't like dewy foundations because it just enhances everything, but it does look really nice. Okay, so I used that entire thing on the back of my hand. That was 2 pumps. I might come back in and just do this little area on my cheek, but I'm gonna let it dry down a little bit and then we'll see. Then I'm gonna move on to the other side of the face. We'll see if it acts any different with the primer. I wanna see how this applies with a brush, so I'm just gonna use the Morphe Y6. We'll see if it applies any better on the side. So I'm definitely getting a lot more coverage with the brush. Yeah, no, I like it applied better with a sponge. It does say online that you can apply it with a sponge or a brush. I definitely prefer the sponge for this one. Okay, right off the bat, I do like how it's sitting on the skin. It's a little bit more dewy than I normally prefer. Other than that, I think it looks really good. I mean, it's not like creasing or anything. It's not clinging to my dry patches that I can see at least. But it looks like it is gonna start creasing in this little line I have by my mouth. And it looks pretty good in the corners of my nose. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I'm using all the products that I know work with all my other foundations, so nothing new here today. This is the Tarte Shape Tape. I have the shade Light. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in the center of my face. It's not picking the foundation up anywhere that I put this concealer, so that's awesome. To set that down, I'm using the Too Faced Peach Perfect Matte Setting Powder. I know I say this all the time, but this setting powder is a game changer if you have oily skin. This setting powder definitely controls my oil like no other, so if you don't have it and you have oily skin, I would highly recommend it. And I'm just setting my entire face with this and focusing mostly on the T-zone where I get the oiliest. By the way, I forgot to say this, but it is 3:17 in the afternoon right now, so we're getting a super late start, but that's okay. My eyebrows are out of control today. I haven't gotten them waxed in like a month, and usually I go every 2 weeks, so they're just all over the place right now. I'm bronzing up a little bit with the Kylie Cosmetics Toasty Bronzer. I'm contouring with the Tarte Park Ave Princess Contour Palette. I'm using the shade right here, Carrot. So I'm noticing when I'm putting my powder products on, the foundation it's just like picking up where I'm putting the powder, and I'm being really light-handed, so I don't know why that would be happening, but it's only happening on like I don't know, I had a really bad reaction to something that I used, and so I have all these little tiny pimples all over my cheeks and like up here on my forehead, and it's on all those little bumps. The foundation is just coming off. For blush, I'm using MAC Melba. Using a little bit of cream highlight. This is the Hourglass Vanish Champagne Flash Stick. Oh my god, I can't deal with my eyebrows right now. What is going on? Then I'm taking a little bit of the Ofra Cosmetics Star Island highlighter, and I'm just gonna run that over the cream. Oh my god. I'm using the Colourpop Beeper Lip Liner. And then I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Petal. And then just a little mascara on my lower lash line, and this is the Sephora Outrageous Curl Mascara. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try and let that dry a little bit, and then try and rub it off with a spoolie. I'm just gonna set my brow hairs down, and this is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setting Gel. All right, well, that's about as good as it's gonna get. The last thing I'm doing is just setting my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Okay, so now that my makeup is all done, I'm liking it a lot more than I was before I like set it and everything. I did say that it was picking up a little bit on my pimples, and I can really only tell on my forehead now. I can tell a little bit right here, but it's really not noticeable unless you get really up close to me. I love the finish of it. I love how it has just a little bit of a kind of just a natural finish. It doesn't look super matte. It doesn't look extremely dewy like it did when I first put it on, but I guarantee if I didn't set that down with that matte powder, it would still be super dewy. It hasn't started creasing anywhere yet, but I do think it is gonna start creasing around my mouth. Most foundations do crease there just because, I mean, there is lines, so it's bound to happen. It looks good in the corners of my nose. It doesn't look cakey at all. Like I said before, I do have a lot of texture on my face right now. I mean, more than I usually do, just from whatever reaction I'm having from something that I put on my face. So, I mean, I can't blame my own texture on the foundation, but the good thing is that it's not enhancing it at all. So that's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's all I have to say about it right now. I think it looks really good. I'll come back here in probably like 3 hours and just do a little check-in and show you guys how it's holding up, see if it's creasing anywhere or separating and just transferring off or anything. So I'm gonna call time at 3:15. It was 3:17 when I showed you guys when I finished putting the foundation on and setting it. So I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Okay, it's 7 o'clock now, so it's been on for almost 4 hours. And I'm looking a little shiny, mainly just my forehead and right on the apples of my cheeks. It does, sorry if you can hear my dogs barking. It does seem to be a little bit shinier on the side that I didn't use a primer on, so it does seem to be working a little bit more with the primer, but the only thing is that my chin looks really bad right now. It looks very dry, and it's like caking up and separating in the line in my chin, but mainly just looks really, really dry on my chin. It's just kind of like clinging to every little bump and dry patch I have in my chin, and then it is creasing a little bit in my smile lines right here. So it's not looking the best, especially up close, but from far away, I still do think it looks pretty, but I have a feeling that a couple hours from now, it's not gonna be looking good just from it looking like this from only being 4 hours. So I'll come back in a few more hours and show you guys what it's looking like, so I'll see you then. All right, it is 11:16. It's been, I think, 8 hours. I'm sure you can already tell it from there, but I am very oily, especially my forehead, basically my whole T-zone. But my chin looks so bad right now. I think my chin especially is just more dry than it usually is right now. I am taking some new medications, so that could be it, but it is definitely not sitting well on my chin. Really just from like here down, even on my lower cheeks over here. It does seem to have transferred off a little bit on my lower jaw, and I have been being really careful about not touching it, but mainly it's just like separating around my mouth and just doing something a little funky here on my chin. I can get past the oiliness. You guys know that. Like, I really don't mind that much when I get super oily in foundations because I can always just blot it or do some touch-ups, but when the foundation starts to separate and transfer off, that's when it's a problem. From a distance, I'd say from like back here, if I look in the mirror, I can't see what's going on my chin. So I feel like if it's really big problem, I could just touch up right now and I'd still be okay. But it's just when I get closer is when, it just looks yucky. But I'm not gonna do anything right now. I still wanna keep it on for at least another 2 hours just because I like to see how it's gonna hold up for the full 10 hours. So I'm gonna go finish up editing this video and I'll see you guys at my final check-in at 1:15 a.m. Okay, it is 1:13 now. It's officially been 10 hours and I am super, super oily right now. It has basically transferred off everywhere from here down and whatever is left on is just like clinging to every little dry area on my face, I guess, from here down. And then from here up, I'm extremely oily. Yeah, if I touch it, it just comes right off. I'm assuming that's because I'm just so oily right now, but yeah, since it's separating and it's looking pretty cakey on my chin here and it's looking a little cakey in my nose, I wouldn't be able to touch this one up. It just looks too funky on my skin right now. So I don't know. Of course, I will keep trying this foundation, but just from what happened on my skin today, I'm not a fan of it. It was really pretty when I first wore it, so I'll probably wear it again if I'm just like running errands or just have to have it on for like 3 hours. But after that is when it really started going downhill. So I'm gonna keep trying it and I will let you guys know if anything changes. But I hope you guys like this video and I hope it helped you guys. Please let me know any other foundations that you would like me to review and put to the test. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.